So hi, everyone. My name is Misha Desai. I'm a Microsoft 365 Compliance Program Manager. I'm joined here today by a few of my other teammates, so I'll let them just wave and say hello. That's Donis, that's Mass. So today we're going to talk to you about some new capabilities that are available for Teams and Yammer that will help you meet your compliance requirements. Quickly grab this. So like I said, there's some new capabilities that we're excited to share that are available for Teams and Yammer. So in this session, we'll walk you through it. We'll show you some cool demos to show you how they work. A lot of these capabilities are already available for you to try out. And also, if you want to learn more, we have a happy hour at our booth. So you can follow us, walk with us, talk with us, all of it. Just follow us along, and we'll be excited to kind of share some of the new experiences with you as well. So by a quick show of hands, how many of you have already deployed Teams or Yammer or are in the midst of deploying Teams or Yammer? OK, so a lot of you. So then it's no surprise then that organizations like yourselves are re-architecting to a modern workplace. And as part of this transition, users are adopting new modes of collaboration. Now at Microsoft, we've seen this through the growth of applications like Teams and Yammer. We've seen that these applications are fundamentally changing the way that users interact and communicate. So what does this mean? It means that organizations must take this as an opportunity to take a serious look at their existing tools, workflows, and capabilities, and understand how they'll continue to meet their compliance requirements of the future. So today, Office 365 provides a range of tools and capabilities to help admins help organizations meet their compliance requirements. And so today we've broken this into 4 main pillars, and this is how we kind of look at the compliance space as a whole. So these are pillars and tools, capabilities that are designed to help you protect and govern your most sensitive content, identify and remediate critical insider risks, discover and respond to legal requests or regulatory requests, and all while simplifying and automating your internal risk assessments. Now, we've had a few sessions over the past week, so some of you might have already seen some of the other capabilities that we've built out in the space. But what's more is that these capabilities, and as we build out these pillars, we're not exclusively limiting these to Exchange, SharePoint, or OneDrive. In fact, we at Microsoft are taking a critical look at how we can enable these compliance scenarios for applications like Teams and Yammer as well. So in today's session, we're going to highlight a few different capabilities that we've built out. But over the past year, we've been really busy building out some compliance capabilities for Teams. And some of you have already maybe seen some of these. But these include things like retention, DLP, insider risk management, communications compliance, as well as a lot of new capabilities within advanced eDiscovery. We're also excited to announce that by the end of this year, we'll also support eDiscovery search and hold for Yammer content as well. So in this session, we're going to focus on 3 main areas. And so we have demos and little discussions set up for each of these areas. So we'll dig into what these capabilities look like for you today. So in the first scenario, we're going to take a look at Nancy. Nancy is an IT admin at Contoso, and she's working with her eDiscovery and investigations team to identify who leaked details about a confidential project called Project Obsidian. So this is a really crucial project to the organization. They want to make sure that this data doesn't come out because it has enormous business impact to them. And so we'll take a look at how Nancy is able to work with her team to identify who leaked this content. And over the course of the session, we'll also highlight what proactive measures she's now able to enforce for her organization. So when we talk about the response pillar and what it means to discover and respond effectively, our core goal here is that when you need to interrogate your data, you're able to find your most relevant content as quickly as possible. So for advanced eDiscovery, we built out a set of capabilities just for these legal and eDiscovery personas. We're really tailoring to helping make sure that you can build out your end-to-end workflows around identification, preservation, review, and even export, all within the capabilities of advanced eDiscovery. Now, specific to Teams and Yammer, we've also built a set of capabilities to help make this process more efficient. Now, one of the pieces of feedback we often received was that my workflows are often people-centric. When I'm doing an investigation, I'm looking at a person of interest and not a list of individual data sources. And so here, we've made a series of investments around custodian management and legal holds. So really changing the workflow of how eDiscovery works. But here, instead of working on a set of data sources, you can now specify a set of people that you're interested in and let advanced eDiscovery help you find all the groups, the Teams, Yammer groups that they might be a part of. Now, previously, you might have had scripts to look up all the different data sources that make up Teams. Today, you can use advanced eDiscovery to do all of this workflow in place. So we'll help you find all of these data locations too. The next piece of feedback we often received was that these individual messages are really hard to consume. So when I'm doing an investigation, I often need context, and I need to know who was saying what and what they were talking about. And so to help here, we've built a set of capabilities to help you reconstruct that conversation and collect that conversation history. So it's a really powerful capability, and we'll show you what that looks like in a bit. And the last piece of feedback we often heard was that I have built-in review capabilities or built-in processes of how I look at email content and SharePoint files and different documents, but I don't know how I can review these new and chat-based applications. And so here, we built a set of capabilities for a built-in review tool to help you look at threaded conversations. And we understand that along your review process, you're also doing additional things like annotations, redactions, and tags. So all of that work product that you've done for threaded conversations will also let you export that content as well. So now let's take a look at how Nancy and her eDiscovery team were able to conduct their end-to-end workflow using advanced eDiscovery. So I'm going to quickly switch gears here. Okay, so here we're logged into Contoso Security and Compliance Center. So Nancy and your team have already started their eDiscovery investigation, so we're going to jump right into it. Now, when we enter a case, we'll get some high-level insights about what's been going on in and around my case. Now, at the same time, Nancy's been working on this investigation for quite some time, and so she's identified some other users that are relevant to this investigation. These are people of interest, and they might be of interest because maybe they had access to details about Project Obsidian, but maybe they've also been working closely with people who might have had contact about this project. And so Nancy's first priority here is to make sure that this custodian's content is preserved. So we're going to head into the custodians tab, and we're going to add these new users that are of interest for this case. So here I'm going to add Nestor, and what you'll see is that the system can now help me validate these users across my organization's directory. Once I've added this user, the system will help me find this user's Exchange and OneDrive site. Sorry, it looks like the Wi-Fi is a bit slow, but yeah, so there we go. So here the system's helped me identify this user's Exchange and OneDrive site. So again, previously you might have had different scripts to look up all of these different custodial locations. Here we'll help you manage that and help you look up these different data sources. Now, similarly for Teams and Yammer, you want to understand, well, what groups was this user a member of, and how do I find the data locations for where this content might be stored? And so here, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to select a team that might be relevant to this user. So here, Advanced eDiscovery will show me all the memberships for this user, and I'll simply be able to select the teams that I'm interested in. Now, we're extending these same capabilities for Yammer as well. So you'll be able to come in, look at the Yammer groups that a user is a member of, and simply select the ones that are of interest to you. So now once I've selected all the content that I want to preserve, I'm going to move to the next step, and I'm going to place this user and all of the content on hold. So you can see that this drastically simplifies the process. You don't need different scripts, different workflows to find the data sources and manage their holds. You can do this in one workflow using Advanced eDiscovery now. So I'm going to exit out of this, but then we're going to head over to the next step. So now once I've identified my relevant users, I've preserved their content. My next step is to start searching for the content that might be relevant to my investigation. And so here, using some of the built-in capabilities and the suite-wide search capabilities that we have, you can easily search across all of your Office 365 content. So whether this is Teams, Yammer, Exchange, SharePoint, so forth. So it's one set of search criteria that lets you search across everything in a uniform way. So we're going to look into one of Nancy's existing searches that her team has run. And here we see she's created a search where she's targeting a set of custodians that she's identified earlier in the workflow. So this will search all the custodial content that I've assigned or mapped to these users. She's also been really specific about what kind of content she wants to collect. And so here she's used a set of keywords to describe Obsidian or Project Obsidian, the code name for this project. Now, before Nancy starts reviewing this content, she wants to look at the statistics and validate, well, is she collecting even the right kind of content? So we're going to head into the statistics tab. And so here you can see a breakdown of all the different locations and where the results lie. Now, one thing that isn't really important to call out here is that for those of you, some of you might already be familiar, but for Teams content especially, the chats are stored in a group mailbox and the sites are stored in the documents are stored in a SharePoint site. So here I can see all the top locations and understand which locations specifically are contributing to my results. At the same time, I can also look at my queries and look at what set of refiners or what filters are helping contribute or to my results, or how can I further tailor my query to cull down additional data. So here Nancy can start making assessments like, am I collecting too much? Am I collecting too little? Or are there different ways that I might want to craft my query to get to what I really need? So after she's iterated through her query, her next step is to add her results into a review set. So when we do this, we have a few different options. Oftentimes when you're reviewing chat-based conversations, you need the context, you need the history around the message. And so we've added a set of conversation retrieval options to help you recollect and reconstruct that conversation. Now, in addition, we've also added a new kind of review set. It's called a conversational review set, and this is specifically designed to help you review and work around these conversation applications. So we'll help you thread it, we'll help build this review workflow specifically for these threaded views. So Nancy and her team have already created a review set, so I'm going to jump right into that. So the best way to really look at a review set is that it's a static set of documents. And so here you can do all of your workflows specifically for like Excel files, PowerPoint, Word docs, emails, and so forth. But you can also do all of your extended review capability workflows, right? This includes things like annotating, tagging, and redacting. And so what's nice is that this is all built in and in place, so you can look at it exactly as it would in its native application. So here, Nancy and her team have already done some work, and they've identified some files that are kind of interesting for this investigation. So I'm going to jump right into this filter. Now, in the first item, we can read through it, and we see, well, it's got the keyword that we were looking for, Project Obsidian. And here you can see that this single message alone, if I was using my older workflow, wouldn't help me understand all the context, right? What is it that they're talking about? And how do I know how to collect all the rest of the messages that are relevant to this message? So here what we've done is using the conversation retrieval options, we can recollect all of the context that you need to really understand what it is that they're talking about. And so here I can look through the conversation. If I move to the next one, this is also a Teams message. I can see it's got some interesting content, but it also looks like someone shared their credit card information. Now, if I'm sharing this with an outside party, if I'm passing it off to HR, I probably want to make sure that this user's information is still protected. And so here, I'm going to go to the Annotate tab, and I'm going to redact this piece of content. And so here you can see I've redacted it. And so now when I export this out and pass it off to other people, I don't have to worry about how I'm going to manage these different messages and how I'm going to redact this content. I can do that all in place. Now in the next message, we'll look at a Yammer conversation. And so here, again, I get the same threaded experience that I have for Teams. It's a great, kind of cool way to consume chat messages. And so after reviewing this message, I've seen it's not super relevant to this investigation, so I'm going to go ahead and tag it as non-responsive. And finally, I found an interesting email that looks potentially relevant. It's kind of suspicious. It looks like Alex Wilbur is from our organization, but was sending confidential information to a user outside of our organization. And part of these documents included material that was confidential and had key information relevant to the merger and acquisition that was about to happen. So I think I've collected enough evidence. I want to go ahead and export this content out. When I export, I have a few different options here as well. I can either export my individual messages and pass it off to what other tool I might be using. But I can also export these threaded conversations. And along with that, I can also include all of my work product. So I can include things like the tags, my threaded views, as well as text files for the threaded conversation, and replacing my native views with my redacted PDFs. So here you can see how Nancy and her team were able to conduct their end-to-end workflow using advanced eDiscovery. And this was a really reactive approach to how Nancy and her team was able to respond. But we're going to look at the next set of demos where Mass is going to walk us through the proactive approach that Nancy and her team were able to implement. So I'll pass it over to Mass.
Thank you, Michelle. Is this thing working? There we go. Excellent. My name is Moss Libman. I'm also a program manager on the Microsoft 365 Information Protection team, where I work with Misha and Danas on a variety of our different solutions. And today, I'm going to go with you and show you a little bit about how our data loss prevention solutions can help you protect your data. So just a moment here. Sorry. Darn it. Trying to switch back to our deck really quick. I apologize for the disruption. Which one is it? OK, sorry. So what I want to be able to show you today is how you can use our data loss prevention solution to help protect your sensitive data as it's being shared across teams. Now, as you've probably seen, folks are very excited. Users are really adopting this new way for us to share and collaborate with sensitive data or non-sensitive data. And so it's critical that you get the tools that you need to help prevent sensitive data from being leaked outside. And that's why we have our data loss prevention solution. So you can identify and understand where are my users sharing that sensitive data, help identify if there's risky behavior, if they're using it or sharing it in a proper way. And with all of our solutions that we build, there's native integration into the Office apps, into Teams. So you're able to educate your users as they're working on that sensitive content, give them that in-context education around the fact that this data is sensitive, help them make sure they're using it in the proper way. And we actually see a really good uptake in the behavior of our users as they're working on sensitive content. As they receive these notifications, they're generally changing their behavior so that they're using the content in the right way. And of course, as an organization, you need to be able to enforce controls that either allow or disallow the sharing of that sensitive data. Of course, aspiring to avoid inhibiting their productivity, but putting those right limits in place so that when they're sharing that data, you have those right controls. And all of this builds on top of the labeling and classification capabilities that we have across the M365 suite. So whether you're using data governance or DLP or even insider risk, the same way that you're identifying that sensitive data is uniformly detected and applied across the solutions. So of course, today we want to talk a little bit about Teams and what we've done within the Teams app to help you automatically restrict access to messages when they contain sensitive data. Let your users chat friction-free about things that aren't important, that are not sensitive data to your organization, but put those controls, those granular controls in place when the wrong content is being shared. And of course, there's policy tips, which help you educate your users right in context. So right in the Teams app, the users get this notification about the data that they're sharing, why it triggered a policy, and then what happened to it. So there's no longer this need or this inability for users to get hit or impacted by a policy. They don't know that the data they just shared with somebody has been restricted and ends up causing a lot of complexity, friction in that collaboration that we want to minimize and ensure that users, again, can really collaborate within the bounds that you've set up for them. And as I mentioned, all of this is built on our unified classification engine. We provide a variety of built-in sensitive types that allow you to find common types of PII data or financial data. But of course, you can customize this. You can create your own specific types of sensitive data that you want to protect. And we have a variety of different technologies that are available for that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to the correct slide now. And switch on over to my demonstration. All right, so what I have here is the M365 Compliance Center, which is where I can manage all of my organization's compliance and security needs, from data loss prevention. I can see my compliance score, manage my alerts, do a bunch of different management and insight around the compliance of my organization. Now, if you recall in the earlier demonstration by Misha, we were showing that a user was sharing some sensitive data relating to Project Obsidian that is critical and important information to my organization. And I want to start to put in policies that will help me detect when that data is being shared and then to proactively prevent that from exfiltrating my organization. So what I'm going to show you here is a sensitive information type that I've pre-created prior to this demo for convenience. But this is using our new authoring experience. So now within the Security and Compliance Center, you have a way to create custom classifiers right from within the user experience. It really helps make this much, much easier for you to create and customize those. There's still the ability for you to author those from PowerShell if that's your forte. But for today, I'm going to show you how this works in the experience. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this one. Here, my name, very exciting. It's important to be able to tell whomever's using the sensitive type what's the purpose of this. And for this case, I've actually created a pretty simple sensitive type. It's looking for a few different keywords for some secret projects that we have in my organization, and looking for that in close proximity to some other key terms, project, secret. And of course, I can do additional configuration here. I could actually add additional corroborative evidence. I could look for regex patterns or keywords, or have a large dictionary that I'm using of terms. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we don't need all of that complexity. And then last but not least is this little proximity window. And this is super important because this is helping the system know what's the window that I need to look at for where this data is being shared. It helps you fine-tune, minimize false positives, and have those right accurate types of detections. Now, once you've created a sensitive type, one of the other really cool things that we have now is test. So what this allows you to do is, as you've created a sensitive type, or even if you're using one of our built-in ones, we now have an experience that lets you just quickly upload a file right to the system, and it'll tell you, hey, what did we find in it? We analyze it for all of our different sensitive types, and then give you a report back so you can really help understand and confirm that the data that you're trying to find is being detected by the custom classifier that you're using. Or if you're trying to troubleshoot a match, you can use that again for our built-in ones. All right, so as I mentioned, I already created the sensitive type. Now what this allows me to do is to uniformly find content that matches that classifier that I just created. And I actually use that I could use that in an eDiscovery query now. I could use that in a data loss prevention policy, a data governance policy. So it's really uniformly allowing me to reuse this definition that I've created and enforce sort of a consistent set of policies across that data. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the data loss prevention experience. The feature itself is not in preview. The new experience that you're seeing here is why you see that preview moniker on there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually show you what it looks like to create a policy within our system and some of the options that you get. Now first, we've made a bunch of investments in the authoring experience to help you get started with common regulations. And we've taken a bunch of different types of medical, financial, or PII data types and built those right into our solution, and then created templates that are structured around common regulations or common types of data. So for example, if I'm worried about HIPAA data, I can pick the HIPAA template, which has predefined PII identifiers and medical terms that we built into the box. But for today, since we're creating a custom policy that's going to help us protect when Project Obsidian is shared, I'm going to go ahead and go through the custom authoring experience. Give it a nice name so that others that are using this know what it means. Now, within our policy system, one of the key capabilities that we have, and this is pretty uniform across the eDiscovery experience you just saw, as well as all of our different policy systems, and that's that our policies are designed to allow you to define your sensitive data once, your usage policies once, and then apply that across the service. So whether that's in Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, or Teams, you can create one policy, you can define that criteria in one place, and then distribute it across the system. And that's really what we hear from our customers like you is, hey, my sensitive data is my sensitive data. Where they're using it is somewhat secondary to what is sensitive. So this is really optimized to help you achieve that goal without having to create a bunch of complexity and duplicate configuration. Of course, you have all the granularity you need. If you want to create a Teams-only policy, you can do so. And then as you pick these different locations, you get to pick what is the scope for this specific type. If it's a SharePoint site, I can pick the site. If it's an email user, I can pick the user's email box. And of course, in Teams, I can pick the chat channels and the chat users and chat channels that I can protect with this policy. Now, once I've determined where I want this policy to apply, I've just picked Teams, and I've chosen this one to just broadly apply across all of the Teams channels in my organization. Now is when I tell it, hey, well, here's the kind of sensitive data that I want to protect in this policy. So since this is a fresh policy, there's nothing in it, I'm going to go ahead and pick some sensitive information types. And I'm going to pick the secret sensitive type that I showed you earlier that I created. And now what this is allowing me to do is I'm referencing that definition that I just defined in the other part of the system so that I can use it as detection criteria in this policy. Now I can actually do a whole bunch of complexity here. I could add other sensitive data types. I could add labels. I can combine these into a variety of different combinations to really help me find and detect that sensitive data that I'm most interested in. Today it's secret projects, so it's a pretty straightforward process. Now I can choose what is the what context, if any, do I want this to apply to? Do I want this to apply uniformly when users are sharing data? Or do I only want to apply it when sensitive data is being shared outside the organization? So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that one for today, because we want to warn users and sort of proactively let them know when they're sharing this, regardless of whether it's inside or outside the org. Next, as you have defined the policy where you want it to apply, you get to choose, what do I want to happen? Do I want my users to know that this policy is detected content? That's where these policy tips come into play. What this lets you do is really provide a customized experience or notification to your users that lets them know in the language that you use to talk to them why did our organizational policy affect their communication. We have nice built-in text, so you don't have to customize it if you don't want to. But what this enables you to do is kind of use that language that is most applicable to you. Now, in addition to configuring the outcomes that you want to apply to the user, you can also enforce restrictions or outcomes that you want to take place when that sensitive data is detected in that chat message. So I'm just going ahead and changing this to 1 because I want to only detect the instance of one instance of that secret keyword term. I could change this to 10. If I was looking for credit card data, I may want to find high volumes of credit card data. But for today, it's a keyword. 1 instance of that is all I want to detect. And then I'm able to determine, do I want to send my admin an alert? Is this a breach of sensitive data that I need somebody to go react to very quickly? And by turning on these incident reports, I can make sure my admin receives this real-time notification when those types of things happen. And I can actually choose whether I want to enforce a restriction on the access to that content. And so for this case, I'm going to go ahead and select block. Since we're restricting content in Teams, I'm going to choose everyone as restricted. As you can see here, there's a whole bunch of different options depending upon if I'm protecting content in SharePoint or OneDrive. I have a variety of different controls that I can enforce. And one key one here that I really want to talk about for a moment is overrides. Now, what overrides are important is that it enables your users, when they're impacted by your policies, it gives them an out, a break the glass, so to speak, if that's what your organization wants to allow them. You don't have to check the override option. But if you do, what it means is when a user is authoring or sharing sensitive data and your policy has blocked them from doing so, they'll get an experience that tells them, hey, we restricted this content. It's been blocked because it contains sensitive data. And they'll get a button that they can click that says, I have a business justification. I have a need to share this data. Please let me do so. And this shortcuts that whole help desk process where users have to call help desk to find out what policy blocked them, and then somebody else needs to go modify a policy. So it shortcuts that whole process. So you don't have to go pay a help desk person to go modify this policy. You can just give your users the out to do so. And of course, one of the key pieces here is the ability to actually ask them or require the user to type in a business justification. So it's just not just an easy way to override the policy, but a way for them to give you feedback back to why they've shared it so that you can analyze your policies, make sure things are being shared in the proper way. Once you've configured the policy, from there, it's a matter of turning it on. We do have what we call test mode. This is really around assessing the impact of this policy before turning it on, before impacting your users. So if it's going to start blocking your users, you often want to evaluate, is it accurately detecting it? Is it applying to the right contexts? So with test mode, you can start to get those reports. You can start to get those insights from our audit data without yet actually restricting the user from accessing that content. Now, as a demo, we've already conveniently created and configured all of this data in our system. So now I'm going to switch on over to a Teams chat where we're sharing this sensitive data. Now, in the interest of a prediction of a Wi-Fi network, you can see I've already shared this once, but I'm going to go ahead and type this message in and let that go. Now, one of the things that we really toiled with our Teams integration is, as users are sharing and collaborating with data, we wanted to make sure that the chat experience isn't hindered. We don't want friction as users are sharing this data. And so for that reason, we do behind the scenes scanning to detect if the sensitive data has been shared with the user, and then use that to proactively come in. For some reason, my detection is not working. I may have a case-sensitive match here, so give me just a moment. But as you can see, using the message that I sent just a couple minutes ago, what has happened here is I sent a message that matched that policy that was configured. It contained the keyword Project Obsidian, and so access to that was flagged. And here I can see, I can click what can I do, and this shows me that policy tip experience. So this is telling me why was that message restricted, what was in it, it contains a secret project, and what can I do about it. So for example, as I showed you earlier, I can actually override that block from right here within the experience. So if I want to say, this is a business partner, and hit confirm. See, behind the scenes, the evaluation finished. But this top one here, this is a little, this top one here is the one that I just overrode. And so what that means is the recipient that I sent that message to that had previously been blocked has now been released. Now on the admin side, I still get a report that shows me that that sensitive data was detected in a chat message and that a user overrode it. But now I have all that data so I can make sure that my users are using it properly and that they're aware and educated in the proper use policies of your organization's sensitive content. So that's one of the mechanisms that we have for you to implement proactive controls and really around granularity, around detecting sensitive data and preventing the sharing of that sensitive data with certain contexts. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to Dinas, who's going to show you about another technology we have for protecting data.
Thank you. Do you guys hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? It's right past the middle of the session when you start thinking about the great lunch you had last week, not this week. So with that, let's get started. In this session, let me introduce you to information barriers. This is the newest addition to our advanced compliance suite. This has been released on Teams, and we are working on the rest of the workloads. I'll talk to that in a minute. This is the newest edition, and I'll first start with what is information barriers. Some of you may know it as ethical walls, so that's a reference I want to give it to you guys. And you may have needs in your organization where you may require this. So in this slide, I will walk through if your organization needs this. The first step is, let's look at Microsoft 365 solutions. What it powers is, it provides a powerful communication and collaboration capabilities in the form of Teams, Yammer, Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, you name it. You provide all these powerful capabilities. So with power comes greater responsibility. If you don't understand that, then it's from Spider-Man. So we need to provide that responsible controls for your organization to take full benefit of this capability. Some of the scenarios where you may need a communication restriction. To begin with Teams, you will have your users be able to easily create a channel, start IMs, make calls with all the rest of the users. But there are situations where in your organization, in your tenant, you want to kind of control certain specific user groups from talking to each other. The first scenario, a need for avoiding conflicts of interest. This is a regulation. If you're in FinSec, I'm not sure how many of you are in finance or banking kind of a vertical. So this is a mandatory requirement. From FINRA, you have to kind of prove that you have these necessary controls in place to keep away two groups who are in conflicts, like research and the investment should not come together. Other scenario to limit communication is providing a safe space. If you take education, for example, you will have an entire school district represented as one tenant. Doesn't mean that all the students across the schools should be talking to each other. Even the teacher should not be talking to students across the schools. So those restrictions come into play. It kind of reflects in other organizations as well. You may have different silos of your organization whom you want to kind of separate from communicating with each other. The last one, this probably applies to most of the organizations. There is specific groups which is working on a top secret project, and you want to kind of restrict the amount of communication they have with the rest of the org. You don't want these secret communications to kind of spread across the org. You want to keep it kind of packed. It could be even a time-based, like it's time-sensitive. You're going to release some product in a year. Only during that time you want to place them under this kind of a restriction, but you have needs like this. So do you guys have a show of hand, how many of your needs kind of represent some of the information barrier scenarios? Okay, a few. So what does it mean? Information barrier looks like a tool that we use to shut down the party. That's not the goal. The goal here is provide the safety net. The safety net is what will kind of allow you as an admin or your organization to kind of empower your users to have autonomy over collaboration. Once you have the safety net in place, you will now be able to open up the other users to collaborate more freely. So this is an enabler in that front. Let me go back to the scenario. So the familiar character, which is Nancy. Now we have kind of gone past like 1 year since Project Obsidian, when we were kind of keeping the merger of discussion with like Contoso and Fabricom under the wraps. Now the merger has happened. The situation is Nancy is tasked with integrating these two users, but not all regulatory approvals are in place. So that means that there is still some time before they can start communicating with each other. That's a scenario. So I will walk through how she goes about configuring this information barriers for that scenario. So information barriers currently is available in Teams. We are in preview for SharePoint and OneDrive. The support for Yammer and Exchange, we are in discussion. It should happen next year. Information barrier starts with defining the segments. So we talked about special groups of users who should not be communicating with each other. So that's defined in the form of segments. The segments can leverage a typical membership to a distribution group, or it could be defined directly based on the user's attributes in the AD. We support up to 20 of them, including 10 plus custom attributes through which you can define that. Or you can choose an existing attribute like a department, location, multiple of them. I can provide a link to that. So how does she do that? Like, she takes a set of users. As a first step, she defines segments, which defines like where these users are placed. Still no communication restrictions in place. As a second step, she starts defining the information barrier policies. The policies are defined per segment, which needs that restriction. It can be in the form of blocks. In this case, Contoso users should not be talking to Fabricom. On the other users, like in this case, Nancy as an IT admin, she is able to communicate freely with the rest of the users. The last step is to apply these policies. It doesn't take immediate effect because this applies at the user level, so that whenever the user communicates, we are able to validate that. So they need to complete all this policy creation and apply the policies. So here I will do a quick demo of like how the configuration works. So I will first start with viewing like how the user in this particular tenant demo setup is here. So what I did is I kind of, for convenience sake, annotated the display names with Contoso. You see that first 5 users are part of Contoso. The next 5 are part of Fabricom. These are the user groups who should not be communicating with each other. Nancy has gone ahead and created 2 groups where she has placed the Contoso users in one group. You'll see those users as members, and Fabricom in the other group. As I mentioned, group membership is just one way of doing it. She can still do using user attributes as well. Did I mention that it is a new compliance capability? So we are still not graduated to the compliance center. We are working through that. I'll give you a preview in a minute. But while what is available is a partial-based interface for configuring it. So here is configured on this test tenant. You see the 2 configurations for segments. One of the org segment there is Contoso, and the other one is Fabricom. The next thing she has done is set up a policy, one policy on Contoso's segment, which says that they cannot talk to Fabricom users. So that's a Fabricom segment which is blocked. And similarly, the reverse of it is defined for Fabricom. So this is the third step I talked about. Now she has went ahead and applied this in her org. All those 14 users in this case who was in this test tenant, they got this policy applied, and now they are ready to kind of start honoring the IB policy which was configured. This is further debugging. Like they can kind of look at a specific user and find out like what kind of information barrier policy applies to them. Meanwhile, I'll switch over to talk about an end user's experience. In this case, I'm going to talk to, it's been a while. Okay, so this is the experience of a user who's part of Contoso. As you remember, the Contoso users cannot talk to Fabricom, but they can talk to the rest of the Contoso users. Let's quickly pick other Contoso users. They are able to do the chat. And the network is, yeah. And they'll be able to place calls. So all these modalities are allowed. Now, at the same time, if they try to start a communication with Fabricam. The search directly doesn't work. I do have a cache because we have an address book-based policy which makes sure that even the people's search experience blocks the other users from being visible. So if we had a cache or some other way they're trying to kind of initiate this conversation, that's still blocked based on the information barrier policy which is in place. It applies in one-on-one chat. The same thing will apply as they try to make a call. Or if they are trying to get added into a team session, I have a team session which is like a channel which is going on here. I will try to add a Fabricam user. It will still be blocked. So we have made sure that those two users either cannot do a P2P direct communication, or they cannot be even coming together to collaborate in the form of a channel. So let's kind of take a view from Nancy's perspective. She has access to allow communication, she's allowed communication with both Fabricam and Conteso. In that scenario, how will information barriers come together? This is Nancy's interface. She is in Teams channel. Now she can start a communication with Conteso and Fabricam. I will probably skip that. I will instead start a totally new channel. Okay. So first, she's starting to add the Conteso users that are allowed to be added. And then now she started adding Fabricam to the mix because she's able to communicate. She's trying to bring them together in a common channel. That part of it would still be allowed. So we ensure that users who are blocked from communication by IB policy, they don't even come together as a channel, so thereby we make sure it's totally restricted. So let me wrap it up. So this is the way we will have a footprint in M365 compliance. That's coming early next year. So it's a brief overview. It has the segments, policies, and the ability to define a block versus allowed policies between segments. Yeah. So with this, I want to wrap it up, the entire session. So we started with looking at how Nancy is able to discover and respond to a data spillage on a secret project Obsidian. Misha was demonstrating the functionalities which allow creating the list of custodians whose messages will be held, and they're able to construct their conversations to identify any sensitive communication that's happening, and also produce an exported thread which can be used for further investigation. And as a second step, we found how Nancy can apply a proactive block. Mars was demonstrating how they can do a DLP block on specific project names or any custom sensitive information. And using Teams, they can, not only Teams, across O365, they can block that communication from being shared broadly. And the last step, we saw the information barriers through which there are specific customers who have restrictions on communicating with the rest of the org. We can apply those restrictions using information barriers. Here are some other pointers. You can read more about other M365 compliance docs from this location. And if you want to try out the solutions, you can use that trial link that allows you to create an E5 link which provides all the functionalities, and you can test it out. And you can learn more. This is our compliance.microsoft.com. That's where all the admin controls are going to be going forward. Yeah. These are some of the other sessions we can learn more from.